Meanwhile, South Africa has announced that it will be deploying more than 70,000 army troops to try and enforce a nationwide lockdown to contain the spread of COVID-19, making it the country with the most stringent rules to fight the COVID-19 pandemic. The President Prez Ramaphosa has deployed as many as about 2,200 army personnel when the lockdown was announced about 27 days ago. But the recent decision to deploy more than 70,000 army men will be the biggest deployment since South Africa became a democracy back in the year 1994. South Africa announced a complete lockdown of services with an exception of essential services on the 27th of March. Only essential service providers who have applied for a special permit, such as the healthcare workers, such as the retail shops that sell groceries, medicines and farmer shops, banks and journalists have been allowed to function amidst this crisis. Now, 2 days ago, the South African president also announced a massive 500 billion rand emergency package that's near to about 10% of the country's GDP to try and recover from the declining economic situation amidst the outbreak.
We are now embarking on the second phase of our economic response to stabilize the economy, address the extreme decline in supply and demand, and to protect jobs. As part of this phase, we are announcing this evening a massive social and economic support package of 500 billion rand. Which amounts to about 10% of our GDP.
The restrictions across the country have remained and the government plans to extend it until the end of May. People are advised to not leave their homes except for purchasing essentials, and if rules are found to be violated, then the government is of course levying some hefty fines and even in many cases detaining people for stepping out of their homes. While some have welcomed the president's decision to deploy massive troops in the country, others have criticized the government. Political opposition has expressed fears that the country could resemble a military state with very poor and economically weaker sections facing the brutality of the deployed soldiers. Now, the number of coronavirus deaths has dropped significantly last week in South Africa, but the number of cases seems to be increasing. As of now, the deadly virus has infected over 3,600 people and has resulted in about 65 deaths. A total of 2,515 patients are undergoing treatment, with at least about 35 amongst them needing some critical care. All right, let's also now take a quick look as to what else is making news around the world. The families attended a mass burial at a Brazilian cemetery. The northwestern city of Manaus was seen digging mass graves in an already existing cemetery to bury patients who succumbed to the COVID-19 infection. A football pitch in Myanmar is being used by food vendors to ensure social distancing. The football pitch has been transformed into a huge open-air market to allow vendors more space.